My name is Shuki Kato, and I live in Kalispell, Montana. And my profession is actually just working at a golf course, so it's a pro shop assistant. The very first book I remember, I don't even remember who the author was, but there was a book. It had like a basket with a couple pieces at the end. And I distinctly remember there being a rabbit ear fold in the book. And none of us could figure it out because I have three sisters, so we are all folding a little bit of origami into paper airplanes. And it was such a revelation when my oldest sister, Stasia, figured out how to fold a rabbit ear and taught us. I'm fortunate that there was a craft show around here. It doesn't exist anymore, but it had two origami books, Origami Insects and Their Kin, and Origami Sea Life. And those two books are what inspired me more than anything. When I was a little bit older, about 10, 11, I discovered some more of Robert Lang's books and John Montrell's books. I was about 9 years old when I did the first model that I considered my own. Very soon after that, I folded that bear cub, which I published in my book. I loved folding those super complex origami in the early days, from especially Robert Lang and Satoshi Kamiya, of course. I've always loved animals. In my introduction of my book, I talked about a childlike fascination with huge animals, especially dinosaurs and mammals. You could call me an amateur biologist, in the sense that I started college with the intention of becoming a wildlife biologist, but I ended up just doing a 2-year associate science degree, and then working at a golf course and origami on this after that. And as we grow older, we see our own designs, and I thought many of these were near perfect, and I don't see them as perfect anymore. It's kind of sad. Like that Giganotosaurus, which was the final dinosaur in that book. At the time I diagrammed it, I was totally satisfied. And that's not an exaggeration. I was totally satisfied with the model. And then by now, I've done like 3 more revisions to it, which is ridiculous. I know within the next 10 years, people are going to be doing models like my own, but even more advanced. It's insane how good those guys are. Especially like on YouTube, they're just so young, and it looks like they've learned from video tutorials, and they can do everything. I mean, it took me forever to get this far. Way back when I first had the chance to buy and own Robert Lang's Origami Design Secrets, at the back section of that book, there's 20 pages of fairly complex mathematical formulas on how to design especially efficient origami. And I thought at the time that I'd be going in that direction, but so far I haven't. When I use mathematical formulas in my origami, it's more about how to find a reference point, not so much the entire design itself. If you have, let's say, a flap that's, 4 units long, that's right on the body, and then you just tuck it away, and you could have used it for something, I would consider that a poor design, so rework the crease pattern. I had mentioned talking about making a book way back. I want to say like 2011 or so, and it took 6 or 7 more years. And the models that I had thought about back then, almost none of them made it into the book. Let's say, considering I play golf, all sorts of stats lists of like Tiger Woods versus Jack Nicklaus and all of these characteristics. So look at those same kind of things in origami books. And I noticed that, like Satoshi Kamiya's books, they have around, I think 19 models in his first book, and 14 or 15 in his last one. So somewhere around that range. I wanted to have enough models because I felt like if I just included super complex models, people would feel gypped at getting only 10 models in a big book like that. I shouldn't say it so quickly, because when I made the first book, I'd already had many of those easier models diagrammed before I just decided to work on the rest of the models. Whereas here, I don't have any of these models that I'm thinking about putting in a book diagrammed fully yet.